Hello, I'm Hide. こんにちは。This channel is established and designed for international shogi players at an advanced level. The title of this first video is Brinkmate Part 1. As this is the first video on this channel, let me briefly introduce myself. My full name is Hideaki Takahashi. I have won several national amateur titles in Japan, and other accomplishments as well. Let me refer to the notation that I plan to use today. I'll use the modified Kitao Kawasaki notation. The line described here is read out, for example, on 7-6, on 3-4, Shock takes 2-2 and promotes, Saber takes back, Shock puts 4-5, and so on. Maybe you are not so familiar with it. It is close to the notation well used in Japan, but is less ambiguous and with higher readability than the traditional style. I will also employ some convenient expressions from chess terminology. Now let's get to today's main section. First of all, what is Brinkmate? If we were to attempt to describe Brinkmate in words, it might be thus: a threat mate, in which there's no way for the king's side to avoid the forced mate in the next move. But this might be clearer. In a game, if you put the opponent's king in Brinkmate, and there are no immediate means to checkmate your king afterward, your victory is guaranteed. We will explore specific Brinkmate positions, starting from the next page. But before moving on, one more thing. Brinkmate problem. This is considered the Brinkmate version of Shogi. However, please note the sequences for Brinkmate problems include not only checks but also threatmates. Later on, we will solve many Brinkmate problems. Some of them will be challenging even for professional players. Now let's move on to the first step. The position shown here is Brinkmate, and the list is of possible replies by white. Please calculate how to checkmate after each move. I will now count to 3. Please pause the video during this time, calculate until you come to your own conclusion, and then proceed. The same approach will be followed for the subsequent exercises. Okay? 3, 2. Now let's look at this answer. Here's the solution. I demonstrate only the line after gold 2-2 on the board and skip the rest. Gold 2-2. Knight to 3-3 checks. 1-1. Gold 2-1. Takes. Okay, checkmate. Okay, one more exercise. This position is not Brinkmate. Not Brinkmate, which means there's a way for white's king out from the black's mating net. What should white move? As before, please pause the video and calculate. 3, 2. Okay. Bishop 2-7 is the move. Either bishop 1-8 or bishop 5-4, for example, is also correct. Through these exercises, I hope you understand that determining whether a position is Brinkmate is not necessarily straightforward. Now, I'd like to refer to how this course will proceed. This video consists of 3 steps, splitting the introduction. In step 1, I show a fundamental Brinkmate position and let you confirm that the position is actually Brinkmate. Today, we have already done this step in exercise 1. In step 2, we will see some variations of the fundamental position, and we consider whether or not we can lead to Brinkmate from each of them. In step 3, we will analyze more practical cases which can occur in actual games. By the way, I'd like to introduce a book here. There are only a few Brinkmate problem books in Japan, but this book, titled as必死道場, is, in my view, the best book among them. In step 2 and step 3, I will quote some of the Brinkmate problems included in this book, either verbatim or in my modified form. Just in case, I contacted the author for permission regarding the quotes and obtained consent. The quoted problems will be marked with this blue book emoji. Now, let's move on to step 2. In each of these positions, a lance is placed on the first file, preventing knight 1-3. Please analyze whether or not each position is Brinkmate, and whether black can achieve Brinkmate within a few moves. Okay? 3, 2. Now move on to the answer. The position of exercise 3-1 is Brinkmate. The lance works nothing to avoid checkmate. In exercise 3-2, following bishop 7-7, board 3-2, then white king has space at the corner, king 1-1. That's why the initial position was not Brinkmate. But continues the attack by knight 3-3, and white has to cover squares both 2-1 and 2-2. Sacrifice gold 3-1 doesn't work, because black just takes. Bishop takes knight, then checkmate. So here, white has no choice but bishop takes knight, then black takes back. Actually, this position is Brinkmate, but have you considered rook knight 2 and how to checkmate from here? If you haven't, calculate again. Okay. Bishop 2-2, king 2-1, silver takes once, takes, lance checks, and promote. In conclusion, black can Brinkmate in 7 moves, starting from silver to 3. By the way, let's consider this alternative knight 2-4 apart from board 3-2. So 7-7, knight 2-4. Now, board 2-2 by white is forced. Black continues the attack, board 3-2. 1-1, board takes gold, bishop takes gold, and promotes. You have 2 options here. One is knight 3-2 and promotes, and the other is board 3-3. Which move do you think is better? What does it rate to the same? It will be worth mentioning that this puzzle is challenging. If you take on the challenge, you are required concrete calculations over 20 moves after each of the choices. So I have set this exercise as optional. Now I start counting. Okay. Then let's look at the answer. First, we explore Knight 3-2 and promos. Due to the length of the sequences, I'll skip measuring details for each move and only demonstrate on the board. Post takes slice, Silver takes and promotes, 4-2-2, shove checks, 4-2-2, takes, 4-3-2, 4-2-1, 4-2-3, x6, 4-2-1, and so on. That results in perpetual. Secondly, we delve into board put 3-3. Post takes silver, board takes 4-2-2, shove 4-4, 4-2-1, knight takes lance, board takes, +1-9, 4-2-1, takes, shove takes gold, back, board put 1-3. Here, white can capture neither gold, and gold in white's hand is out of stock. Then white has no choice but rook 9-2. Black continues by board takes gold, rook takes gold, board put 1-3, 4-2-1, takes, then rook 3-1 checks. Then we reach this position. So white has to put some piece on 2-1. In any case, black can achieve brinkmate eventually, as described. In my conclusion, choosing knight 2-4 will still lead to brinkmate in the end. However, it takes over 30 moves from the initial position, making it less straightforward compared to the main line. Okay, let's consider other variations. Let's pause the video and analyze whether brinkmate can be achieved from each of these positions. 3, 2. Now, let's review the answer. The position of exercise 4-1 is brinkmate. The horse on 9-7 doesn't affect the outcome. As for exercise 4-2, there's no brinkmate after dragon 5-2. Exercise 4-3 is complicated compared to the previous two problems. Since the horse is preventing knight 1-3, the line is similar to that of exercise 3-2. So 7-7, goes 3-2, in 1-1, knight 3-3, takes. Up to this point, sequence was the same as in exercise 3-2. In exercise 3-2, it was brinkmate. This time, there's no mate after rook 9-2. But next, shook 4-4 makes it brinkmate. White can't prevent the coming board 3-2, discovered check, shutting the rook. Example, silver 3-1, board 3-2, and so on. Okay, this completes step 2. From here, we will consider positions that are more likely to occur in actual games. The first exercise in step 3 is extracted from my own game. Brinkmate in several moves. By the way, it was 30 seconds byoyomi. So if you want to be in the same situations as mine, set a 30 seconds time limit before pausing the video Now move on to the answer. I assume several people could conceive of the rook sacrifice from the context so far, but imitate rook sacrifice, king takes, saber a3, doesn't work, goes, board a2. The squares 7-3 is occupied. So the correct first move is the knight sacrifice. Taking the knight is false. Suppose any other reply, for example, silver 7-1, that's in checkmate. Or 6-2, x, rook promos, and so on. So here, takes knight, then rook sacrifice, takes, then brinkmate. Next, I quote several problems from the book introduced earlier. Similar to exercise 5, let's solve these problems with a focus on guiding towards the fundamental brinkmate position. 3, 2. Okay, now move on to the answer. As for exercise 6-1, for sacrifice, x, saber 4-3, then brinkmate. As for exercise 6-2, knight sacrifice, x, takes saber, x, rook sacrifice, x, then brinkmate. As for exercise 6-3, gold sacrifice, white can take this gold, also immediate checkmate. So into 2, on promo, x, sacrifice, x, or takes gold, and brinkmate. Now let's think about the variation of exercise 6-3, where we place the gold in hand with a rook. This is today's last exercise and a highly challenging one. Calculate whether or not we can reach brinkmate. Okay. Now move on to the next page. Attempting to reach brinkmate, there's no other way for the first moves. Rook 3-4, rook 2-2, rook takes gold, takes, rook takes the knight. Since capturing the dragon raise fights to brinkmate, you see, white king has no choice but to flee, so there remain 3 options. King 4-2, King 4-3, and King 3-3. Which do you think is best? If you haven't thought about this position yet, calculate again. Okay. Now I show my conclusion. The worst among the 3 options is King 4-3. This results in an immediate checkmate. Dragon 4-1, King 3-3, rook checks, 3-4, and checkmate. Next, King 3-3 is trying to flee through 3-4 and 3-5. These variations are so complicated that I'll skip mentioning details for each move. and just demonstrate on the board. One imaginable line is board 4-4. King 4-2, dragon 6-1, board 5-1, knight checks, king 4-1, board takes 5-3, king 3-2, dragon takes gold, king 3-3, and so on. By reaching this position, it becomes clear that black cannot achieve Brinkmate. Many other strategies for black can be considered, and each other can be sustained for quite some time. However, we concluded that black can't reach Brinkmate. The other option was king 4-2. It is also resilient. Example, promotes, rook 3-9, dragon checks, pawn, takes, king 5-2, gold 7-3, king 4-3, dragon takes gold, rook takes 3-2, and promotes, and so on. This variation is also intricate, but my conclusion is that it cannot result in Brinkmate. Finally, I will introduce two more practical situations. I came up with this position, though similar positions can be found in actual games between top players. Depending on the variation, the fundamental Brinkmate position will be potentially involved. Where is that? On 2-4, x6, h6, x6, bishop exchange, and bishop put 7-7. Rook takes knight and promotes. This is actually a mistake. Pawn to 3 is better. But anyway, we explore. Rook takes the knight. Okay. Bishop takes the silver. If white plays knight h6, then black plays Brinkmating line. Now black king is safe. However, when knight 6-5 spread here alternatively, choosing this Brinkmating line is blunder, because dragon takes gold, silver takes back, as sacrifice, with black king to checkmate in the end. So black has to play knight 4-5 or 6-9. Example, resulting in advantageous endgame for black. As we have seen, the king can be possibly in danger in the process of Brinkmate due to the resources given to the opponent. No concrete calculation is necessary. Another thing you need to think of in a game is whether or not sufficient resources are in the opponent's hand. Let us think about this example. If white has the silver or bishop and can play silver 2-2 or bishop 2-2, then white can at least prolong. Otherwise, the position is Brinkmate. Now this completes step 3. Let's wrap up with today's main points. In step 1, we learn the fundamental Brinkmate position and confirm the position is actually Brinkmate. In step 2, we added some pieces to the board and analyzed them. In many cases, it was possible to achieve Brinkmate eventually, even in response to white's attempt to prolong the game. This demonstrates the broad applicability of the fundamental position learned in step 1. In step 3, I mentioned some important conditions in actual games. With these in mind, I recommend you to attempt to lead to Brinkmate during an actual game. Okay, this concludes today's session, Brinkmate Part 1. And here's the preview of the position for Part 2. I hope you make sure that it is Brinkmate by the next session. I plan next time within several months, but it may take longer depending on my job starting next year. Anyway, I'll do my best.